Alright, welcome back to Luca Food. First things first, I messed with my audio settings a little bit. So we're gonna see how it sounds. If it's too loud, comment down. If it's a bit quiet, let me know. But you know, haven't really recorded in a bit, and Austin Desanto is my favorite wrestler. His pace, his fireman's kinda copied that off of him. And figured I'd break down his biggest match that really showed me how pace and everything is important. So we're just gonna get right into it. It's him versus Brian Pesca in the Iowa Nebraska duel many years ago. I think this was let's see when it was. 5 years ago. So yeah, 2019. Let's just get right into it. So like off the rip, you just see immediately we see Austin just charging, searching. You just see his hands just reaching for his thighs, and he's just putting the pace on right away. Just boom, he's grabbing. He's already to his thighs. Doesn't fully have his head position, but he has his thighs, and he's making Brian work already. He's just putting the pressure on him. I want to show you guys. Wait. When he comes around, look, you guys can see how tight he is grabbing his armpit. Like, he is clamping that, and he's just digging into it. You can, we hear about this from Vito Araujo when he was telling people about, he was telling Kane Henschel about wrestling him at U.S. Open, and how in their 20 seconds they were on their feet, Vito had scratches in his armpits and stuff because his grip, is just not letting it go is the biggest thing. You just gotta be really, kind of ruthless with your grip sometime, and that's what worked with him. That was kind of flashy. So he's circling, he shoots that outside single, and so Brian, he sprawls and tries to pancake him because he has the underhook. And so Brian's trying to throw him that way. So Austin rolls under this way because Brian is throwing his arm that way, and Austin has the the hole through here. And you can see that right here. Boom. And he just comes out, gets back to a neutral spot, and they're wrestling. And still, he hasn't let that go once this match. There hasn't been a single moment yet this match where we've seen Austin let go of this grip. So that's a huge thing. And look, it's making Brian be so out of position. We're almost a minute into the match and still Austin hasn't let that go. And, Brian Pesca is kind of a nobody wrestler in the NCAA as far as I know, but we can see how important that grip is, because just holding that regardless, we can see, Austin holding that is not allowing Brian to get anything. Brian had no offense. His offense was off of defense, which didn't even work because he tried, it's just something kind of silly. So yeah, and then let's just go back and watch that Fireman's. So Austin, has his grip. He had Brian kind of snap down a little bit, and as Brian came up and was, out of position for a second, we see Austin. So what he does is he gets his hands ready, and it's not like a normal fireman's. Normal fireman's, he'd be upright, dumping him this way, but no, he's shrugging him off his shoulder. He basically grabs him and throws him over himself, and he's bringing him this way. Let me kind of shrink myself a little bit. Oh, he's throwing him this way instead of that way, and we can see that here in a second. And then, yeah, if you're lucky enough, you can hold that right there. If you are able to keep the leg and the arm, you can get near fall or pin. Very simple move, really. Earn Your Gold Medal did a great breakdown on that move if you want to learn how to do it. I watched it, learn how to do it. It's like my go-to takedown now if it's there. But yeah, like if you learn how to do that Fireman's over a regular Fireman's, it's way more efficient. Because I feel like it's way easier to escape. Like if I get sprawled on, it's way easier to continue the fight as if normal Fireman's, they sprawl and you can't get it. You're kind of in a bad position. As far as that one, you can have, from my personal experience, it feels way easier to get out of being in a bad position. So, Earn Your Gold Medal. Shout out to you. Thanks for that breakdown. What do you do here? Oh, early start. So we see just a head lever immediately. He gets a tight waist. He has a shallow tight waist, but he just gets his head in there. Then he climbs down to the wrist. Then he gets the head lever. See that again? He just chops him right over it. He gets his head in there for the head lever and just chops him right over himself. See? Tries to roll out of it. Austin follows. And so Brian starts to cut into Austin and to keep it going. This is huge to keep the position going. Is Austin then cuts back into a high crotch, which is huge if you're, in Austin's position where they're getting away. They're almost out, drop to a leg. It's very important, very good skill to have. Here's Chad Red Jr., for all the other Indiana wrestlers out there. He's a GOAT in our state. He goes optional start, and see, when he goes optional start, he doesn't just let him up. He keeps him fighting. He gives him, Earn Your Gold Medal calls it a partial one. Like, he's letting him up, but not to a neutral. He's still in a slightly dominant position to where he can get his ties again. See? Now he has his tie right back because he didn't, just let him right up. He kept the pressure going. Still haven't gotten out of the first period. Let's watch that again. So Brian took a low kind of shot. Just felt like kind of just a shoot. That's, if you're like that, you should not be shooting. Just kind of throws himself in there, I felt like. And Austin just down block, kept his head in position, and circled around, which is huge. Now he's working a bar. I remember they kind of go crazy over this bar, but it looks pretty legal. Yeah, that was legal. I don't know what Nebraska's coach is going crazy about. Optional start again. Watch, he keeps that pressure on him. He keeps his head on Brian's head and grabs his tie. That way Brian can't get a full, actual stand up. Austin keeps his ties. He's snapping him down. Just fakes and pushing and pulling. That's all Austin really does. He pushes and pulls and fakes. And then eventually when his shot is there, it's there. Brian kind of goes for a all or nothing throw there, but Austin kept his hips back and everything and just got right on top. Then look, even there when he cut him, he's cutting him in position. He has his grip that he wants. He has the head position he wants. And he's letting him come to neutral, but still be in the dominant position that you would like. So that was good. He shot his Fireman's. You see his fireman's wasn't there. Then he just cut into a high crotch, cut double. Was still able to get the double or the takedown. That's one of that's the thing there when I was talking about being able to come back from getting sprawled on if that fireman's doesn't work. As you saw right there, Austin was able to cut into a high crotch instead of being in a bad position. Optional start. Doesn't let Brian get position. Keep circling. That was great. See, Austin, he moves in a circle. He moves laterally. That way, when Brian is getting up, Brian is having to stand up. It's like a corkscrew. Brian's having to stand up while turning, which doesn't help if you're the bottom guy, because then he can't find his position because Austin is there, and Austin just shoots in for that high crotch and gets it. That was great by Austin. Once again, doesn't let him get it. Watch once Brian starts standing, I'm sure we're going to see Austin circle. Yep. I don't think, did he get the escape there? Oh yeah, he got the escape, got the takedown. Pushes him at the edge. See, he can even just keep shooting that shot with that tie up. We saw it just there. He shot it, didn't work, he was able to come right back. And then he shoots it again. And he's able to recover. I mean, they went out of bounds, but still. Whistle blows immediately, That's the thing, it's his offense. He doesn't let these guys get what they want. No, that was just lazy by Brian. Brian kind of just laid there and let that happen. See, that's what I'm talking about with the circling. He circles as Brian tries to come up. Then Brian has to stand up while moving in a circle, which doesn't work, and Austin can just get the easy takedown. That's huge. Like, if you're cutting a guy and as he's standing up, you need a circle, because if you just stay neutral, he comes up matching you. But if let's say this is him, this is you, he's coming up in a corkscrew as you're circling, it just doesn't work. Quad pie gets out, cuts right into a double. Does he do yep, he does a step over, and he gets the takedown. Goes right to his ties, letting him stand up. Fireman, see, it doesn't work. He's able to come right back out. Circles, and his high crotch dump. That was great wrestling. You see the fireman's doesn't work. This fireman's, you can just come right back out of it. Come back to neutral. And then he snapped Brian down. It's just the same thing over and over again. As Brian is trying to come up, he corkscrews. Shoots the fireman's, doesn't work. High crotch. It's like Austin's doing kind of repetitive movements, but it's so it works so well, It's like these repetitive movements are very technical and work very well. It can work against anybody. What do you do this time? So they're neutral. He ties up. So that was great because Austin knew that Brian was expecting him to tie up and not shoot immediately, kind of tie up and move him first. So as he tied up, he just drops under for the single leg, which Brian, you can tell, wasn't expecting. And he gets it. He's able to pick him up because he underhooks that leg, which is huge. He's in that single leg, underhooks the ledge, gets the 2, gets a tech fall. Then that all happens. But, what we can see is how his pace played in so much. There's 2 things I think we should take away from this match. One, if you're cutting an opponent, cut it as the partial one. You know, earn your gold medal as a video about this if you want to watch that. I need to see. I hear a car. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause this. It's just my brother, but you know, when he's cutting him, he's keeping dominant position. It's like it's allowing him to, you know, give him the one, but still be in a dominant position. And like, it's partial one, great system, earn your gold medal. The other one, as you're cutting him, as he's coming up, it's circling, because then, you know, I talked about it in the video, but they're coming up in a circular motion, coming up, and not only they're going up, but they have to follow, which just no one can do that, you know, against another high level opponent. So, huge, you know, cutting him, and as he's standing up, circling, because then we saw Austin do it all the time. He just reattack right off the cut. So yeah, those are some things I would take away from this match. Comment what else I should post. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.